And real good webinar. I think that'll give you a lot of tips from a lot of different areas. But I just want to kind of start off with a story that I think is relevant and will give you some good insight on the mindset you need to have to be successful today with technology. So for most of you guys, I think you know that I teach some marketing classes at the local university here. And one thing I just kind of wanted to share with you is some insight that I have. And a lot of the marketing classes I do are technical, computerized marketing, stuff like that. And, I think for me, I hate to say it, but I kind of typecast my students. And I think the question you should ask yourself after the story is what type of student am I, that Ken's talking about? So here's my point. My point is there's these programs out there like Facebook, okay? Whether you want to admit it or acknowledge it, Facebook is a billion-dollar company. So what that means is this. What it means is that probably 999 times out of 100, Facebook is probably working correctly. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 times you find a bug, okay? So my point is this. My point is my students, when we do things, they usually go two ways. The successful students, when they can't figure something out, they try again. And then they try again, and they try again, and they try again, and then they try again. And eventually they figure out how it works, and they're successful. The student that isn't successful usually says, it doesn't work. There's a problem. There's a problem with Facebook. And we do a lot of things like email marketing training, computer software design. And these things are, they're not easy. They take a lot of trial and error. I mean, that's the reality. There's a lot of programming. But at the end of the day, there's a science to it all. And what I mean is that if you set it up correctly, it will work. If you set it up incorrectly, it will fail. There's no magic involved. And I guess my point is the same thing can be said about Facebook. Whether you want to admit it or not, there's no magic. It either works because you did it right, or it doesn't work because you did it wrong. And the agents and brokers that I see that are successful are the ones that are willing to do the trial and error, to figure out how to make it work for them. And the agents that fail, they're usually the ones calling me up saying, my profile's broken, doesn't work, it was set up wrong. Profile isn't broken. Like I said, 999 times out of 1,000, it's working fine. You just have to kind of figure out how to make it work. So my point is let me give you a few tips today that will hopefully get you thinking correctly, and you'll be better off. I think for anyone who's new to Facebook, the best thing I can tell you, and the greatest tip, is to give you the foundation. Here is the foundation of Facebook. You have 2 pages. You have a personal page for you, the person. Here's Ken French's personal page, right? Anytime Ken French posts, it goes to 1,446 people. Those are the people that are my friends. They've come to Facebook, and they've connected with Ken French, okay? So that's a foundational point. When you post something on your personal page, it only goes to your friends. Those are the only people it ever goes to, okay? Where does it go? Well, it goes to all of your friends' news feed. So I'm looking at Ken French's news feed, right? I am friends with Linda Ray. I am friends with Jim Mahar. I am friends with Pat Ramsey. I am friends with Brian Fuller. Now, if we keep going here, you will see that Star Wars came up and Twin Rivers Insurance came up. Those are business pages. I'm not friends with them, but I've gone to those pages, and I'll go to the Star Wars page now, and I've liked the page, okay? And you'll see right here, there's a little check next to it. I've liked it. So because I've liked that page, the posts that Star Wars does, they show up on my feed. Now, my point is that you have 2 pages. You have, the personal page, and you have the business page. So here's my Benefit Store business page. The only people who see my Benefit Store posts are the people that have come to this page and clicked the like button. So my point is if you don't understand that concept, I'm 100% positive you will struggle getting to the next level with Facebook. That's kind of like the first grade of Facebook. Understand that you have these two pages, and the only thing that happens is you have a distribution on each page. You have a distribution of friends on the personal page, and on the business page, you have a distribution of fans, people who are following the page. And the goal, obviously, is to grow that distribution. On my business page, guys, you can see 2,059 likes. When I post, those 2,059 people see the post on their news feed. I don't mean to kind of harp on this, but I think that all the problems I get when people call me up, they all stem from not understanding that concept. I constantly get people saying, well, I'm posting on my business page, but it's showing up on my personal page. They're not understanding where these things go. Remember, guys, and here's another little tidbit fact. When you post on your business page, okay, we're going to assume that you have actually liked the business page, okay? You yourself have clicked like. So because, and let's use John Smith as an example. John Smith has a personal page. John Smith has Smith Insurance, the insurance page. But John Smith had gone to his business page and he's clicked this like button. So what that means is if you post something on Smith Insurance and you click on the home button, you're going to see that post on your news feed because you're actually a fan of it, okay? And that's where people start flipping out. They say, well, wait a minute. I posted something on the agency page, but it's showing up on my personal page. It's not showing up on your personal page. If you clicked on John in the upper right-hand corner, this would be your personal page. You'll see there's no benefit store stuff on here. The benefit store stuff is going on the benefit store page, and it's going to all the people who are fans of it, their ticker. Do not confuse the ticker with your personal page. The ticker is just all the posts that you're connected to, whether it be personal or business. Okay, so anyway, that's a foundational point, very important to understand. When it comes to some do's and don'ts, and we're talking now 100% about your agency page, number one thing, stay away from rapid posting. People say, well, what does that mean, rapid posting? Rapid posting means you go on to your business page, and you sit there and you post 3 or 4 times in about 2 minutes. Maybe you have a post about healthcare reform. Then you got a post about your office is closed early tomorrow. Then you got a post about life insurance. Posting is good. It's always a positive, but you don't want to post multiple times in a few minutes. You can post twice a day, but try to keep a few hours between the posts. Rapid posting has a lot of negative effects. Mostly, it has a negative effect with people interacting with your post, and it also has a negative search engine optimization effect. The search engines see that stuff, they don't like it, don't do it, okay? Next thing, which I've seen a lot of my clients for whatever reason go this route, do not solicit products on your Facebook business page. And here's an example of an agency that kind of does that. We're looking at their page, and here are kind of all the posts they have. Today is the last day to apply for individual health insurance. Call me. Here's my individual exchange username. Put it in if you buy it. Here's a link to buy United Healthcare. I can save you money on health insurance. When you start to put it all together, you become a solicitor. And let's face it, guys, in 2014, solicitors are not exactly liked by many. And what that means is it's just become acceptable in our society to ignore the solicitor. So my point is Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, social media, you need to become, you kind of have to pick the path you want to go down, whether you're educating people, whether you're just talking to people and being common and being, trying to create relationships, or whether, you're trying to just kind of be silly and draw attention to yourself. Those are all fine strategies. But the one strategy that's always going to fail is soliciting. You don't want to be deemed a solicitor because then people will probably unfollow you, but more importantly, just not even pay attention to what you do. The next thing that's a pretty big don't is stay away from the negative, opinionated posts. And I had a lot of talks with my clients last fall, especially a lot of the people selling the health insurance. And I know it's frustrating. I know a lot of the stuff is insanity. It's all bad. I get it. I come from the insurance industry. But on the flip side, one of the things I learned a long time ago about marketing and advertising is that negative posts and negative marketing always equals negative results. So my point is this. Try not to post things that are negative, in blunt terms. I've seen a lot of clients just completely bash the government, bash the president, bash everything you can imagine with some profanity, with all sorts of stuff. In the end of the day, you're probably right, and I probably agree with you. But marketing is a funny thing. And like I said, negative vibes usually equal negative results. So, it's better to stay away from that stuff. It's not going to, long story short, it's not going to get you any results. It's actually going to get you negative results. So stay away from that stuff. I know it's tough, but you have to think of yourself as an entrepreneur with this stuff. This stuff is very powerful, the marketing appeal. You are only going to hurt your agency by, having that type of attitude. And then the final thing, and it's funny, I see this a lot. It's silly, but this goes right back to that fundamental point I made before. I see a lot of agencies going on to their Facebook business page. Let me see if I can pull one up. Anyway, I see them going on to their page, and their posts will actually be, hey, like our page, become a fan, right? So just think about it like this. Imagine if I went onto my page, and one of my posts was, please click like to become a fan today. Does anybody right off the bat see why that doesn't make sense, why that's almost beyond stupid? The reason you wouldn't do something like that goes back to the thing I said 5 minutes ago. If I was to post, please like my page and become a fan on my business page, the post itself is only going to go to people that are already fans. You see what I'm saying? So, because remember, the only people that see your posts are the people that have already clicked like. So it doesn't do yourself any good to go onto your business page and to post, hey, like our page, become a fan, because the only people that are going to see that have already done it. So that brings up a good thought. Instead of doing that on your business page, go to your personal page, and that's where you want to post it. You want to go on here and say, hey, we now have a business page for Bob's Insurance. Go to facebook.com/Bob's Insurance and click the like button. So guys, hopefully that you start to see what I'm saying here. We got 2 pages. We got 2 different audiences. And we want to utilize both and try to get as many of our personal friends to become business fans. So that's kind of our first do, which is go to your personal page, and that's where you ask the people to like your business page. So, from a do standpoint, 2014, I'd like to see you guys posting 5 to 8 times a week. We used to kind of be at 3 to 4. Google and Yahoo, they've increased their requirements for social activity. And as most of you guys know, the search engines look for social activity. Google wants to see 5 to 8 activities a week. So I'm telling you, we want to do what Google wants us to do. 5 to 8 times is the amount of times we want to post. We want to have a balanced look and feel. I kind of had that guy up before. What does that mean? What that means is that when we post things, we have options. And I'll kind of look at my page real quick here. We can post things with graphics. We can post just plain text. We can put custom graphics in. You want to kind of have a good balance of that because, like I said, different people react to different looks. Some people read. Some people are visual learners, and they kind of read through the picture. It's important to kind of have that balance. The next do is a real easy one. If you haven't done it already, you really should do it, and that is you want to link up your Facebook page to your Twitter page. So if you go onto Facebook, and hopefully you can see I'm up in my browser here, click on Facebook and type in facebook.com/Twitter. And if you do that, you then can easily link your Facebook page to your Twitter page, which means if you post on if you post on Facebook, you can then post on, it'll then automatically post onto Twitter. It's an easy tip. Go to facebook.com/Twitter, log into your Twitter account. You'll be all synced. That way you don't have to go onto Twitter each day to post. You can just post on Facebook, and it'll automatically post on Twitter for you. Another thing that I suggest, especially for people who are newer to Facebook, is go on and take a look at what other insurance agencies are doing. One way you can do that is up in the Facebook search bar, just type in insurance agencies. And here's the trick. When you do that, go all the way to the bottom and click on See More Results. And what it'll do is it'll pull up, it'll just pull up pretty much every agency. And you can click the little arrow here and go through and, just look for, and of course I spelled it wrong. That's why not many are coming up. I'll just type in agents. But my point is this is how I really started to learn early on, probably about 7, 8 years ago. I just went in. I looked for what I would call the top agents. I looked for guys who had the most likes. I went to their page, and I clicked like and became a fan of their page, so I got their posts and just started to see what their strategy was. Here's a guy that did, he's got what I would call more of a comedic marketing approach. Dude, at your age, life insurance premiums must be a fortune. And, he's just got a simple post. But you know what? He's probably going to get a lot of people paying attention to that. I've never looked at this page in my life, but I'm just quickly looking at it. And I guess my point is this. With Facebook, you're not reinventing the wheel. Go on to some of the top agents' pages across the country and like their page, see what they're doing, and whatever seems to work for them, try to kind of massage it into the way you want to do your business. And then the final thing here, guys, and I know we've gone over in time, is just be yourself. Talk to people like they're people.